we said, if we have to, we form a resistance movement and we do what we can to try to keep the Germans out of here and help the people if anybody get persecuted.
You know, I sort of slid into it willy-nilly via sports in a way. But it wasn't like, this is the resistance sign here, you know. So very casually, and after we did that and it was successful, they said, well, would you do it again? Sure, we would do it again. So then we realized, hey, we are in the resistance.
Then I met this guy in the street. I say, Feifke, what is all about this? He says, we have an underground and we're going to fight the Germans. I know we're not going to win, but we're not going to go anymore.
I joined the BDJJ, which stood for the Bund Deutsch Jüdische Jugend. And for a period of a year, I spent my life in the Bund and its activities. We marched, believe it or not, in 1935, we marched through the streets of Berlin.
When I got involved more in the illegal work, in the youth underground, the organized, not in the hundreds, but the very small group. They were, in a way, the foundation of the later organized armed resistance which took place.
Our goal. We were not interested in getting involved in open battle fights because we were not equipped or trained for it. But we were interested in getting involved in sabotage acts to interrupt and disrupt the transportation and the communication at the front.
They gave me a gun and they explained to me what our duties will be. We stored gasoline for Molotov cocktails to make, about 16 of us. They said that this is your area. If the uprising comes to be, if they're going to ship us out, the first thing you have to do is burn. There was a factory that made parts for our airplanes. This is your first duty, is to break the windows, throw in a few Molotov cocktails, and this will go.
Put a little bit of gunpowder wrapped up in a little rag and put it inside the cuff of my dress because we didn't have pockets. They used this gunpowder and manufactured little hand grenades made out of metal round boxes of shoe polish with a wick and filled with gunpowder. And when you lit it, it exploded. I don't know. But the crematorium was destroyed as well. There were 4 crematoriums in Birkenau and 1 was destroyed.
Back, I think that the armed resistance was possible because it was an ethical, moral resistance going on in the ghetto, but the houses were full of beliefs, of hope, of belief in humanity, of justice, and this was a chain leading to active resistance.
It was extremely dangerous. We had to carry our books and our coats, because if we were caught, we would have been shot on the spot. So I think that this is extremely important to note because this in some way reflects the forms of moral, or if you will, spiritual, resisting total destruction.
That we did what we would call here in the United States like slow down strikes. When the management wanted us to do 10 pieces a day, we would do only 2. In many instances, I heard so many times being said that Jews didn't do anything. They went like a sheep to the ovens. But it's not true, because this was also a resistance. Resistance does not have to be with a gun and a bullet.
And I arranged for my brother and myself a medley of German songs, which we performed in front of those Nazis sitting right in front of us and the dogs staring at us. Die Gedanken sind frei, wer kann sie erraten? Sie fliegen vorbei wie nächtliche Schatten. Kein Mensch kann sie wissen, kein Jäger erschießen, es bleibet dabei. Die Gedanken sind frei. And my thoughts are free, they are my own. You can't shoot me, you can't shoot my spirit. And this I sang straight into their faces.